Footbap Nation!
Let's ride.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Fantasy Footbaps podcast, the last episode of this season. And we got a new champion in town. Kyle, congratulations on taking home the coveted Footbap title. For the first time, he's won it, and he's been chasing this for a while, and he finally made it happen, Paul.
Couldn't be more proud. I'm glad he pulled it off.
Yeah, I think the boys are all pretty proud of Kyle because he had probably the best team in 2019. We thought he had the best team going into the playoffs last year. And it's sweet victory, Paul. Sweet victory for Kyle.
Absolutely.
We'll go over a little bit of how he got there, and we'll go over some other of the other matchups, the final standings, how everything shook out. We're going to go over the draft, what happened there, who had bad picks, who had good picks, and then we're going to get to the world famous Bappies, the Fantasy Footbap Awards show, which you viewers at home voted in.
I'm excited.
Thanks, Paul. All right, let's get right on into this. So like we said, Kyle beats Steve in the championship, becomes the champion. Was never really close. Kyle wins 117-79. An embarrassing showing for Steve. Honestly, I feel like this is reminiscent of when the Patriots lost to the Eagles in the Super Bowl. Now, I know the Patriots didn't get like blown out, but it was like going into it, it's like it's the Patriots. They've been there before. They've won it before. It's against the team that hasn't, done it yet. And I feel like it didn't feel like Kyle's team was the better team and we all knew it, but it felt like Steve had the experience, right?
Yeah, I agree. I was shocked that he couldn't even crack 80. That's a little disappointing.
Right. And I wouldn't say there were many questionable decisions made by him or anything. Like McCaffrey only got Steve 11 because McCaffrey got hurt in the game against Washington too, which let's be honest, CMC might have put up 40 against Washington if he played and was healthy the whole time. Devontae Smith also got injured in that game for Steve. And then Chris Olave with a crazy piss class against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's pass defense is awful. But apparently Tampa Bay owns Chris Olave. 4 points against him the first time, 0.9 against them the other time. I don't know. What was the Thursday night game, Paul? Can you remember?
No, that was 2 weeks ago.
This was week 7.
The Lions?
No,
maybe?
It was Jets-Browns. It was Jets-Browns. Okay, so they had no one in Jets-Browns. I was wondering if anything got off to a start there. All I know is it never felt like Kyle was going to lose this one. CD has a 200-yard game for Kyle. Amon-Ra, not 20 points for Kyle, 20 points for Dak. Who would have guessed, Paul? Kyle gets 20 points from 20 plus points from 3 different players. It was all season long. 33.7 points from CD Lamb. I was telling Paul, it shows that there was some kind of recap. I can't remember what I was looking at, if it was on the fantasy football app or what, but it showed everyone's top performers of the year. And my top performer was Dante Foreman getting me 29.9. And all I could think was Kyle had a 30-point scorer, at least one every single week. And in most weeks he had 2. I had 1 on the entire year. It's just wild, dude. His team was. It didn't even matter that Stephon Diggs is completely washed now, completely washed.
I don't know. I saw something. It's because of the new coordinator. But still,
true.
It's just a load of shit that he just does nothing now. But the formula for success, we said it all year. He got piss class from both running backs, but that didn't matter at all.
Diggs.
He almost had 120 with that. So and Diggs.
Yeah, it was honestly. It's tough because Diggs is Diggs, but I wonder if I were Kyle, I honestly might have considered playing Reed or Jones just to when Stephon Diggs is guaranteed to get you 5 points since week 10. It's kind of why not just try something out? Dude, Jaden Reed did really good to end this fucking year. Really fucking good. Well, he was up for waiver wire pickup of the year. I think or at least we talked about it. Maybe we didn't put him on there, but that's why I was saying he should be
Yeah, I
on
think
there.
people would realize.
I
Yeah, because
know
like
it's tough,
yeah.
but especially because Kyle didn't play him. But like if
Mhm.
he was on any other team, they would have played him. But we don't want to get too much into the matchup. Just basically, Kyle had Dak, CD, and Amon-Ra go off. They were his main guys. Steve had injuries, but also Steve kind of pulled the 2020 Paul, which was your team is really good at the beginning of the year and you get complacent. Like he didn't make
Mhm.
any moves after that. So like the cracks were there with Tua. Kenneth Walker wasn't going to keep scoring 2 touchdowns every week like he was doing to begin the year. Let's see. Devontae Smith was kind of like up and down.
Yeah,
Like
he's a frustrating guy to watch.
and to be honest, Steve at the beginning of the year, this is why I wasn't sold on Steve, was because he was getting like 20 points from his defense and that was how he was scoring a ton of points most weeks. So I was like, they can't just like keep up. But yeah, the 2020 Paul, like Chip almost choked his playoffs away by making like too many moves when he was 5-0. Like I think that he got in his head and he made a couple good trades, but he made a trade that when me and Paul were putting together the Footbaps awards, I was like, that trade is like actually really bad, and I wonder if that was like what Chip's downfall was. Did that come through my mic?
I hear it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Is there someone at the ring?
Yeah,
Door?
I think someone's at the ring right now. But he so Chip maybe made too many moves. Steve didn't make enough trades. And I think if Steve would have made some trades, like imagine Steve like trades Kenneth Walker and like Tua for like Dak or someone at some point, like Dak, and then like a really like good like I don't know I don't know who he could have gotten, but like he could have probably scammed someone off of like, hey, look, Tua's good, like really fucking good. Give me CD Lamb and this or something like, you know what I mean? It's just all that was one of the frustrating parts of this season for me was that I didn't have anyone that was like batting above their average. What the fuck could be going on out there? I didn't have anyone batting above their average for me, so I couldn't like make it. I just had to stick with my guys and just play waivers basically. But either way, Kyle wins. Steve, an embarrassing loss in the championship. Like I can't stress enough how embarrassing that was. It's not embarrassing losing to Kyle's team, but it's embarrassing to go in the championship and score 79. This is coming. Yeah. This is coming from the man who I would be shocked if anyone put up a worse championship performance than me when I put up 63 against Nick when I benched fucking Tom Brady and Myles Gaskin scoring 30 points for me. So
speaking of Nick, he did end on a win. He didn't lose.
Yeah, the streak.
That's one of the award nominations. We'll get to that, but Nick, we knew it was going to happen, and actually did. So I'm proud of him.
He is a strong finisher. I don't know what it is when it hits week 10, 11-ish, like around that time, like he's not losing for the rest of the season. Like Nick needs to enter week 10 at 5-5. I guarantee you if he's 5-5 by week 10, he's going to end the year like 8-6 at the very least, and then he's going to go on and just win it all, just run the table. Like that's Nick right there, dude. So yeah, Nick beats Dave. Dewey beats Mike, so Mike ends on an L. Mike's that week where he didn't set his lineup, he's been a walking L ever since.
Yeah, he kind of. I mean, technically, he's just hasn't played since whenever the fuck that was, and hasn't. Yeah, he has Joshua Dobbs still as his quarterback, so that tells you all you need to know.
He got 29 points from Kyron and 26 from DJ Moore and scored 79.
Sad.
But another big story is that first of all, Ryan's Mickey team put up only 92 the last week of the season, so he's not doing himself any favors for the Mickey status that he is brought onto himself, which another one of our awards this year, everyone, that voted knows, was the Mickey of the Year. So could Ryan be taking the Mickey of the Year award home? We'll just have to wait and see. But the biggest story down here at the losers bracket, Paul scores 91. He successfully didn't score 100 points all season. He also finished with the worst plus minus in Footbaps history. So Paul, do you want to maybe what was going through your head after this last week of the season?
I'm just glad it's over. Thank God I don't have to deal with this shit anymore. I'm just ready to mock it through the summer and restart. So
I realized I have an issue because I was looking up anywhere that would have mock drafts for next season out because I was like, I wonder what it looks like, but I didn't find anything.
I can mock now. Yeah, I don't know if they allow it or have it open till the draft at least.
Yeah, it's still like last season, or this past season, like 2023 mock drafts. I was like, oh, that's bullshit. But yeah, Ryan, Paul, worst season in Footbaps history, and there's only one way to go, and it's up. So you at least have that going for you. Now for the fifth place game, it was me versus Gorm. I beat Gorm. Meaningless for the most part. You don't get any payment for fifth or anything, but a top 5, I'll take it. Like for all the injuries and shit that I had towards the end of this year, and it didn't start out hot too because on Thursday night Brees got 23 for Gorman, but it kind of meaningless anyways. But I'm happy I knew I was finishing at least 6th, so at least I was going to be in the top half, but 5th place sounds better than 6th. So, and now another game with big with actual money involved is the 3rd place game. If you get 3rd place, you get $50 your money back, and Chip takes home 3rd place. So we actually had Chip is officially the best newcomer. In terms of like out of him and Ryan, Chip is officially at this point the stats back up Chip is the better Footbap player. So shout out to Chip. He had a Lamar masterclass. I think he threw 5 touchdowns. A Texans defense masterclass. That's hilarious. Austin got negative 1.36 from Will Levis. I'm just realizing. And Joe Flacco got 22.66 on his bench, so I don't think he would have won even if he played Joe Flacco.
Would have been close.
He would have lost by like 0.5, but that was almost one of the biggest fumbles in Footbap history. If Austin, for some reason, is playing Will Levis, like the fact that Austin had Joe Flacco, who got him 20 points, and he was like, I'm not going to play him. Got him 16. He was like, I'm still going to play a shitty quarterback. 24, I'm still going to play a shitty quarterback. 23 was like the most bizarre, like
filtering between Sam Howell and Will Levis and not just sticking with Joe Flacco is a mystery.
Yeah, I will never understand what happened there. Thankfully for him, it didn't end up mattering. But for a while there, it looked like it would matter, and I was like, that is so bad. But congrats to Chip on 3rd place. I mean, even congrats to Austin on 4th place. That's his best finish. I can't imagine he's finished higher than like 7th, maybe like 8th in any year. So a huge step forward, and maybe Austin truly is the Cleveland Browns. Remember, I said going into it, I said the parallels are there where like Austin has never even made the playoffs. Now he made the playoffs, won the first game, but then loses the second game. Kind of Browns 2020 reminiscent. So maybe Austin's future is looking up from here. We'll just have to wait and see. But let's
have to wait 3 years and he'll be back.
Yeah, you know what? Just for shits and gigs, let's look at the recent activity. Let's just see, like, that's what I was thinking. I can't imagine. The last thing that happened was on December 29th. Why were you picking up Cameron Dicker?
I think just to end the season with him because I drafted him.
Okay. Oh, so Thursday. Oh, okay. So this must have been the last week of the season then. I was thinking this was last week, but this was 2 weeks ago, I think. I was like, why would you be doing that? Yeah, no, that's I guess the other thing, maybe let's check the message board, see if we... What the fuck? Did you just do this right now?
Right before we started.
Mike has a. Dude, that sucks that Mike is never going to see these. I really hope he listens to these episodes, that we're just going to end this off with a bang. Rumor has it Dave has has all right, there we go. Last message of the year, or if anyone else, what'd you say?
What is that ad? Get that out of there.
Oh, is that Duke? Why is that even? That's a Fairfield by Marriott ad for
Sponsored by
Duke
Duke
though. For some reason,
I don't know.
that's bizarre. I don't think they have anything in terms of like final standing projections, right? Yeah, like they still have me at 7th, even though I finished 5th. Yeah, so nothing got updated there. Let's just check the final standings, Paul. How's that sound?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, so in first place, obviously we know Kyle finishes first place. Congrats, Kyle. Here it is again, the picture of you winning it all, celebrating with Footbap Nation. Second place is Steve. Still a great finish for Steve. I mean, it's a great finish, even though he had championship aspirations, but you can't complain about second. You still make like $200. You know, it was so funny with when I was doing the payouts, because I was waiting till the end of the year to do them since I was, either way, I was paying him out. Kyle didn't win highest score a single time before, besides like a 4-week stretch where he won it 4 weeks in a row or something, or 3 weeks or something. I was looking and I was like, "What the fuck, dude?" Actually, let me see. I think it was
probably like the final like week 10 to 14 or something like that.
It was week 8 to 10.
Dang.
Yeah, week 8 to 10. Kyle won it 3 times in a row. Those are the only times he won it. So yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. So first place Kyle, second place Steve, third place Chip. Congrats, first season in, starting off strong, and already a contender right off the rip. Fourth place Austin, great finish, brother. Best finish you've had. Keep the momentum going. And if you are between 2 shitty quarterbacks and a good one, always start the good quarterback. Fifth place me. After starting 2-5, I'm happy with finishing 5th place, I guess. I did have championship aspirations when I was the second highest scorer from week 7 to 13 or whatever. And then they all got torn away from me by injuries. So that sucks. But at the same time, I just have to look back and be like, we were 2-5 and we made the playoffs. That's pretty fucking cool. Great comeback. Would have liked to have made some more money than just the $10 I made. 6th place, Gorm. Gorm really kind of choked it off a little bit because Gorm was sole possession of first at one point, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we thought that he was the best team. We thought he had overtaken Steve at one point. So Gorm, I'd say it was a disappointing finish for Gorm. Like Kyle, I think he's happy with that finish. Steve, Chip, Austin, and like the top 4, they're all happy. I would say me at 5th, I'm relatively happy after starting 2-5. 6th place, Gorm, not happy, and then 7th place, Ryan, like again, like kind of hindered himself by the $24 in his fab, keeping Nick Chubb on his bench, not making as many moves as he could have. Kind of riding out some fraudulent players a little too long. That is amazing. Ryan's opponent points per game was 86. The next highest opponent points per game were Austin with 94. That's so fucking unreal, dude. That is a Mickey Mouse schedule. So I'd say this year was, I don't know, like Ryan made the playoffs, right? But like the way it ended, I don't think the way that he started, I don't think he's happy with just making the playoffs. Like to be a confirmed Mickey week 1 of playoffs it's just. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd like to see what his thoughts were. The fact that it shows his plus minus is the best in the league.
Do we
by
think
a
he'd pick
wide
up right
margin.
now?
I don't know. He
I'm gonna
could
call
give
him.
him a.
And I hung up on Paul. Whoops. All right, guys. Sorry about that. I accidentally hung up on my co-host here.
Hello.
See if he picks up. Oh, I don't think he did.
Well,
yeah.
He's on
he is on his phone.
Discord thing.
Yeah, let's see if he.
Yeah. Anyway, like plus 18.4, and you're middle of the pack. I mean, that's just That's Mickey. We can't ignore that.
That's Mickey. Yeah, no. I would say if I'm Ryan, I'm happy that I started the year hot enough that I could make the playoffs. Making your playoffs your first year is definitely a good thing. But I think I'm very unhappy with the end to the year. So I don't know. I think that maybe Ryan's a little more happy than Gorman just because it's his first year. But if Ryan wasn't a first year, this would be a failure every year. But we'll say congrats, Ryan. It's just seventh place, kind of seventh out of 12th. Also doesn't sound too good. Nick finishing eighth place. I mean, good job, Nick. Like started off, 2-10 or whatever he started. Oh, who's that?
What's going on here?
Hey,
All
special
right.
guest.
Special guest Ryan joined Footbap Nation right now.
I wasn't
Ryan,
prepared for this.
yeah, we just wanted to ask. So your final standing was seventh place. That's what you finished, seventh out of 12 people. Are we? Me and Paul were debating: are we considering this a successful season because you made the playoffs in your first year, or are we considering this, kind of a failure because you started off like 5-2, championship aspirations, and then you kind of, Mickey'd your way to the end, and then Mickey'd yourself out of the playoffs.
No. This is a success making the playoffs. Year one, I can't complain. I didn't know jack shit about football last year, and I had Nick Chubb die, and I had Mike Williams die.
Oh, that is true. The injuries, he did get bit by the injury bug.
I was pretty screwed. Monty got hurt for a bit, and then Jahmyr Gibbs came back, and then they decided he's the goal line guy at points because Monty's just so nice.
And Monty was just giving away touchdowns
quarterback at the end of the season. So and Travis Kelce just started sucking at the end of the season too.
Well, Keenan also got injured at the end of the season too.
Keenan was also hurt.
Yeah, wait, maybe you had more injuries than I thought.
No, I got it wasn't ideal. Going into the playoffs, like I definitely wasn't projected anywhere as low as I got, but I think a lot of guys were banged up. And like in the game, like Jerome Ford played and got hurt. Puka played and got hurt, but then came back. Travis Kelce played, got hurt, and then kind of came back. So I don't know. I think it was a success. We just need to beat the health bug more. And I also didn't spend money on anyone. So
yeah, that's what we were saying too.
You have injuries and stuff, and then you're not spending. Because it's like at the end of the day, every week, I feel like my projected lineups usually were pretty high unless I had to have like fucking Tyler Algier or Gabe Davidson. So if that doesn't happen, which, hopefully you get more players on the roster next year that are actually playable, then I feel like it's pretty good.
Yeah, and also like you said, before the season started, before you did your first mock draft or during your first mock draft, do you remember what you said? You said, "Where's Brett Favre?" You said, "Where's Donald Driver?" You said, "Where's?"
I don't. Exactly
you said, "Where's Bo Jackson?"
I don't actually remember that, but yeah, definitely. Those were the only players I knew.
Yeah, so we're gonna chalk that up as a Ryan success then, because he did make the playoffs. He did have injuries towards the end of the year. The one thing maybe you could improve on, Ryan, would be maybe the trade. I mean, you did make the Brock Purdy Evan Ingram trade.
I think the problem was I don't think again, this is the thing. My team, when it was in there and healthy, I felt confident every time. Like I feel like they were usually projected 100 plus, and then they would suck.
Yeah.
Or then next week they would not suck. And it's like, okay, well, I think these guys are good. There were no trades that I got that were like sent my way that would have been like, hey, I think I'm trading a player currently for another player that is better.
You're telling me Paul never offered you a sweet deal that you just couldn't turn down?
I offered so many good deals for him.
Yeah, lots of Paul deals. There's some Mike deals. I think the closest one that would have been good was a Kyle deal, which ended up well, actually, no, I think whoever had DK Metcalf at the time wanted to trade for Puka, and I think that would be a bad trade still.
Yeah, that would have been pretty bad. Yeah, that wouldn't have been better.
I think in hindsight, I would have traded Travis Kelce, I guess, because I wanted him to be better. But at the end of the day, how am I like? I don't think I was. How do you know that he's going to continue to not be like good at the end of the season? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not going to trade him early in the season and then
I guess
be
maybe
like,
that's
"Oh,
what you
look,
could
yeah,
have
this
done
was a
was
good
just trade
trade."
him
But in
early in
like
the season.
hindsight, it wouldn't have been because at the time, I feel like it would have been pretty crazy to trade him.
Oh, what could you have traded Travis? So Paul was offering
Because
Saquon.
yeah, he would have been the only one. Like I want to keep Allen, keep Monty. Ford was 10 points every week essentially
Jerome
once I
Ford.
had him, which I needed someone else. Puka was awesome, and then Keenan Allen was awesome, and then it just would come down. And this is the other thing. It would just come down to Travis Kelce not having, his like I would say Travis Kelce would be awesome, but he wasn't as good as I want at that position. All those other positions I said, I felt like that's not bad of what I had there. And then I always just screwed up defense.
Oh
Defense
yeah,
was like
defense
terrible.
is a fucking shit show. Like it's not like kicker where kicker's just complete luck. There's nothing you can do about it. Like kicker defense, you can at least have the right like idea behind it.
Like
But
I kept
sometimes
trusting
you'll
the
start
Eagles when
Philly
they would
against.
play.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they'll
like
play
I'll be like, oh,
Washington and
they should be the Eagles finally will have the game where they don't suck like they did against Miami, and they should be good because they have decent personnel on the team, but they just suck still.
yeah, Philly's defense fell off from last year entirely.
And
Right.
then and it doesn't help that it's like, okay, well, if I want a defense, I'm not going to spend money on one again, so I'll just get whatever's left, which is fine. I mean, I had going into the playoffs on the first week against Kyle, I just had like 20 points with the defense because I picked them up the night before. I think it was the Raiders defense or something.
Oh
And I was
yeah.
like, oh shit, that's nice. But then literally everybody decided not to do anything, and everyone on Kyle's team got touchdowns, which is just how it is. And then of course the next week after is when all my guys get touchdowns. So it was a boomer bust team kind of, and that was
Yeah.
the thing. It's like, and
You
that's what made
tried
it hard to
mimicking
want to do
Kyle.
trades too.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, the
yeah,
only thing about trade so trades can be like sometimes you think they're going to be good because someone's overperforming. But then you also have Raheem Mostert this year, who like had never been anything in his entire career. So when Chip traded him away, it seemed like, yeah, that's probably a good deal because he gets hurt every year and he's never been anywhere near this good in his entire life. He's like 31. And then randomly he was just like that the entire season. Like
yeah,
it was
like
kind of
that's the
fucked.
thing. I didn't have a guy that I thought he was overperforming and that he would start doing worse.
Yeah.
Like there was no one on my roster that I felt that way about. Like I was confident Monty would continue to be good, and he occasionally lost some touches, but overall, I think he was good.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not trading Keenan Allen. I'm not trading Josh. I'm not trading Puka. Puka might have been the one I could have tried to do something with and like turn Puka into like a receiver that's a little worse than him, and then maybe a running back somewhere. But running backs were such a hot commodity, no one ever wanted to trade them,
hmm
and that was the problem.
Yeah, running backs. It's going to be interesting next year in drafts because off the top of my head, I'm like, all right, CMC is going to be the number one pick, and then it's probably going to be like CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, like basically like 10 straight wide receivers before the next running back. Who is the next running back, Paul? Who the fuck? Kyron Williams?
Nick Chubb.
Kyron Williams is gonna be
Kyron Williams is going to be like a first round draft pick next year probably, which is fucking wild. Chubb, yeah,
I
Chubster.
assume Bijan's gonna be high because they
Yeah.
got
well,
rid
just
of their
because he's
dumbass
young,
coach.
yeah. Because he's young too. Like if he had a few years of just, Tyler Algier had more rushing yards his rookie year than Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, dude. Steve sent that last night, I think. That shit's hilarious. That
Yeah.
team was disgusting. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean the whole flex situation for me was the worst between
Drake London.
Drake London or Gabe Davis. And the thing is, Drake London is a good player, I think. He just has a shit fucking quarterback, and he'd have like his stupid coach that he got fired. And it's like I think if like this was one of those keeper leagues or something, like you hold on to someone like Drake London until he gets a good quarterback, and it's like, oh shit, this guy's like a pretty good receiver, and you can start him every week. But like that just wasn't the case. And then Gabe Davis would be I don't even know what the fuck. He's an anomaly of a player.
Yeah, Gabe Davis, I think, has earned himself the right to like never be higher than like a 10th round draft pick after this year. Like, it's been a couple years of people trying to make Gabe Davis a thing. I think he is officially not a thing. Paul, what do you think?
I agree. It's Jover.
It's just too
Jover.
inconsistent to trust.
Oh, 100%.
It's just you can't.
I thought that
can't
I
do it.
actually
It'd be fine if like.
Dude,
Again,
this
you
is
had
so
someone
fucked up.
else
I have
that you
to
could trust
interrupt
like
this for 1 second. I fucking was walking around while I was talking. I put my hand on my like my bench press, and a fucking piece of metal went into my finger, dude. I had to like squeeze it out here while we were talking, and I that was fucked, dude.
What happened?
I don't know. It was just a little tiny piece of metal, like basically like a, what do you call, like a splinter, but it was like metal. Because I looked down and I was like, ow, dude, what the fuck? And I looked and there was just shiny in my fucking finger.
Nice.
I was like trying to squeeze it out and bleeding. But yeah, no, Drake London is a good player. Dynasty wise, it's so tough because, yeah, obviously they have a shit head coach, but they also have a shit quarterback, right?
Shit quarterback, yeah.
Yeah, so that's never.
I hope they draft someone this year. Like fucking.
Like there's so many
4 guys that are good
so
this year. I'd say.
Yeah, like there's so many options, but that I don't. I guess they don't.
There's no CJ Stroud out there though, right, Paul?
Oh yeah, best player ever.
Or no Dak on the waivers either.
Oh yeah,
dude. That's another reason why I think this season was successful for me. I wasn't on any of the bad trades, bad pickups, like any of those. I was on like, hey, was this the best pickup of the year? And in the
you know
things,
what we should have done
side of moves and trades.
We should have just put the biggest bitch of the year, the guy who made the least amount of trades, and then we could put Ryan on there.
No,
it's so funny because actually Steve would win that because I don't think Steve made a single trade.
Steve had no injuries.
Yeah, he didn't have to.
Very lucky.
You just have your entire team healthy. And it's like, wow, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Now that we went on a tangent there, 8th place for Nick. I call that successful after the start of his season. 9th place for Dave. Very unsuccessful for Dave. He's made the playoffs every single year. Didn't make the playoffs this year. He's going to look to bounce back next year. 6 and 8. I doubt he's ever finished under 500 either. Brutal. Dewey finishing 10th. Hey, he started off 0 and 8. I consider that a successful finish to the year after that. Go ahead, Paul.
No, I was just saying that's a good end.
Oh, good end. I thought you said he could have had, and then you stopped talking. I was like, could have one. This is funny. The ass duo themselves. Mike finishes 11th place. Total failure. Could have, if he just set his lineup, he could have been in the playoffs. And then Paul 2 and 12, technically 2 and 13. 2 wins is the lowest amount of wins for anyone in Footbaps history. And a 12th place for Paul, technically a 13th place according to the Fantasy mobile app. And Paul, we're gonna say that's there was no success there. There's no feel good Dewey Nick story. We came back in one game at the end. You've lost every game once like week 6 hit or something. Like that's crazy, dude.
I think last victory was against Kyle, so technically I'm the champion, right?
Actually, yeah, I think if you beat the champion, that technically means you've won it. I will say, I almost had a similar year in 2017. I think it was. What did I finish? 7 and 6. Then it might have been 2018. No, I think it was the 7 and 6 year. I think I started 7 and 2 this year. Lost my last 4 games, and I was like, man, I'm so fucked. And then I won it all. So that's why I was saying. Kyle won it all this year, and the playoffs worked out exactly how we thought it would. That is not how it works out most years. Usually the best team does not win it all. Usually they go down in terrible fashion to, you know what?
I think the thing, too, Steve might have been the best team initially. And then
Steve fell off.
Kyle.
Yeah.
Steve fell off once the Cowboys defense stopped getting him 30 points every week. I said it at the beginning of this episode.
Highest scoring player, which is crazy.
Yeah, it was,
but it had to be up there.
Yeah, it started out with 35 points and 26. I don't know, maybe CMC had more, but I'm not entirely sure. Like to start the year, the defense was like hard carrying. That's why I thought it was just that was never going to keep up. But either way, as we know, highest scorer on the year was Kyle. Let's see. Everyone who scored over 100 points were Kyle, Steve, Chip, Ryan, Bryn.
Fourth in scoring. That's a
Yeah,
successful season, I think.
That's a Mickey Mouse fourth in scoring.
How does that make sense? How can
because I scored 70. I scored 70 points that last week because I had fucking lost my whole team.
I scored 70 points that last week too because Keenan Allen died. Travis Kelce decided to give me 4. I had to play Gabe Davis.
Dude, Gabe Davis went off for you.
I think if you're top 5 in scoring, I don't know how you could be Mickey Mouse. That doesn't make sense to me.
No, not Mickey Mouse in terms of what you scored. Mickey Mouse in terms of what was scored against you. The 86 points per game.
Yeah. You can't control that.
Yeah, like my schedule, what was it? I was against 60% of the other schedules in the league. I would have had the same record or better regardless. So like it didn't even matter for me apparently, which is the crazy part.
I think everyone was just jealous of your Mickey schedule.
Yeah, that's how it happens.
They would have had my schedule. It would have done way better for them. Like they would have had.
I would have been
record.
7 wins on the season. Dude. That'd be great.
But like for me, it was like, hey, this record didn't even do me anything.
I think what had to happen, Ryan, was you had to win that first playoff game. It had to be.
Couldn't. It was against Kyle. It was against the best team, and I had Gabe Davis and
I think that's where the Mickey the Mickey rumors started popping up though. Was like, wait a second, he had the easiest schedule. The first time he played a good team, he lost. Like,
no, do you want to know my losses this season are all to like?
Oh yeah, they're
to
like
Paul.
Yeah.
I know Austin's got the Mickey Mouse scoring thing.
Oh, Austin's is. It's funny because Austin had more points scored on him than you, but he somehow I think that must have been because the games that he was losing must have been he was losing 150 to 90 or something, because he won 5 games only scoring 90 points, which is ridiculous, dude. I lost 5 games fucking scoring 90 points. So that's wild. Yeah, we're gonna go over the awards, Ryan. We can. I don't know. Is the first award the Mickey Award, Paul?
It is.
The first award is the Mickey Award. I would say we can do a draft recap, but I think we'll kind of touch it during the awards, Paul.
Yeah, we'll probably
go
off on a tangent once those draft ones come up. Yeah, once those come up, I'm sure we'll talk about it.
Yeah, let's start off right now with the major reveal. The first Footbap Award of the year, the Mickey of the Year Award. So the 3 people who were up for it were it was 3 people, right, Paul? Or was it more than 3?
I'm pretty sure it was 3, yeah, because it was Austin, Ryan, and Chip. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so the 3 Mickeys, the 3 people that were up for the Mickey Award, aka the Luckiest Manager Award.
No,
Ryan,
that's the problem, though. You got it. So this is what I was talking to Paul with. You can't. I think this is a separate category. A Mickey Award versus the Luckiest Manager. If this is a lucky manager scenario,
that's the same. The whole point about being lucky is by being a Mickey.
Chubb dying immediately, with Mike Williams dying immediately.
It's just because you have
an easy schedule.
Yeah, if you have the lowest points scored on you, you have to be lucky.
That's one thing, and
but it wasn't
didn't affect
close.
my record.
Yeah, it wasn't close.
The people might agree. Brian, you might not win Mickey. It's between you for the least scored on. I also least scored on by over 100, scored 79 in round 1 of playoffs.
Come on, man. I know what my situation there was. No
Chip, Chip is
Chip
is an underrated Mickey because Chip he built his entire team off of just scamming the poor, just taking Paul and Dewey's best players and limping into the playoffs. And then Austin, made the playoffs. He was the 4th lowest scorer, won 5 games, scoring 90 points or less. So
he managed to get some good shit.
Ryan, do you want to give your predictions for who you think the Mickey is, who you think second Mickey, third Mickey?
I mean, Mickey of the Year is definitely Austin.
Okay.
Scoring the 4th lowest?
Yeah, 4th lowest.
Yep.
And then getting to what round?
I think he got to the semifinals, actually. Yeah, we could have put that in there, too.
Again, that's crazy Mickey, but that's not unlucky. That's called being... that's the lucky part. But I think next, I know it's going to be me for the memes, but I do think getting a team given to you by people that they made some trades that I don't know. I need to go look at the trades again, but some of them I just
they're
open my eyes
featured.
and I'm like, how did
the trades are featured in there.
They're in this.
Let's
how did these happen?
let's take a look. The very first Bappy Award, the Mickey of the Year Award. It goes to Austin. Congratulations, Austin. Congratulations, Austin. You won the luckiest manager of the year. Yeah, the only reason it wasn't zoomed in is because we have longer ones later on that I'll have to zoom out for. But yeah, 11, actually not even really all that close. 11 votes for Austin, 55% of the voters. The second place was Ryan, but that's only 5 votes compared to Chip's 4. Yeah, so Chip and Ryan basically are like tied. Oh my God, we made a dick out of the graph. I just realized. Let's go.
Nice.
Ryan and Chip are the balls, and Austin is the cock. It shows if anyone skipped too. That'll be interesting.
Yeah,
maybe we'll see.
I checked. No one skipped.
That would have been really fucking funny. So yeah, Austin wins Mickey of the Year, the very first Footbap award this year, and now our next award is the unluckiest manager of the year. The 3 up for that was Steve, who had Christian McCaffrey, Kenneth Walker, and Devontae Smith all get injured during their championship week. I forgot Ken Walker got hurt because he had 15 points, so I forgot that he had 15 and still got hurt. Like, even McCaffrey had 11 and still got hurt. Like, that's really unlucky. So that's Steve. Dave was the 6th highest scorer and missed the playoffs. Like, it's kind of weird looking back on Dave's team. Yes, he was the 6th highest scorer. But his points came so weird because towards the end of the year, like it's not like his losses, he lost like 130 to 120. I looked back, Paul, and his losses towards the end of the year were like he was only scoring like 80 or 90. So still unlucky that you're the 6th highest scorer and probably deserve to be in it more than Austin. But I can't remember if there was like an unlucky moment Dave had. Can you think? I honestly don't really remember.
Combination of the season.
I think the combination of like starting 0-4, getting to 4-4, and like being in the playoffs, and then like slowly collapsing, finishing 2-4 or whatever. It was pretty unlucky for someone that scored a lot of points or a good amount of points. And then me, I like that you put the teams in it. Dr. Suck. Let's see. Oh yeah, I lost Tank Dell, Pacheco, so 2 top 12 players at their position, Stroud and Herbert, who at the time Stroud was QB4 and I think Herbert was 6. That's why I put 6 on there. All 1 week before the playoffs, and then also losing those 2 weeks in a row by 1 point off of the 30-point defenses. We're never going to see anything. I don't think we're ever going to see someone lose 2 weeks in a row by 1 point in general, let alone it be off of the defense. So most unlucky manager of the year goes to me. Congrats. Yay. I won most unlucky. That's so sweet. Dave in second. So I got first with 9 votes, 45% of the votes. Dave got 7, 35%. I'm shocked that Steve had 4 votes in general. I really thought that it was just going to be me and Dave. Like, I was struggling to find a third unlucky one. Paul, to be honest, like Ryan said, Ryan honestly might have deserved to be on there for losing Chubb I
got put on the lucky on the first.
Oh yeah, but that we said we couldn't put you on there because we had you in the Mickey one.
It's so funny because like on that first tab, it says scored 79 in the first round of playoffs, luckiest manager. Hello, that's the opposite of unlucky. I was projected 110, and then of course you get injuries.
Also love that Steve scored 79 points in the championship game, and he didn't get called Mickey for that until now.
He feels like he should have been included on the luckiest of the year. In fact,
for no injuries,
For no injuries.
Oh yeah, that's actually really good.
He's being humble there.
Look, Steve was a filler one. It sucks that anyone even voted Steve. I didn't think anyone would vote Steve. I wish we could tell those 4 people to recast their votes because me and Dave might have like tied or something. But regardless, because Steve was just filler. I couldn't think of anyone that like got on Ryan. You were the 3rd one, but you had to be in the Mickey one. You were in the thumbnail as Mickey for like 3 straight weeks. We had to put you in there. The next one is the feel-good story of the year. This one is going to be a close one. I could tell when we were making it. So the feel-good story of the year, Ryan making the playoffs while keeping $24 in his fab all year after Nick Chubb got hurt in week 2. So Ryan making the playoffs with the Nick Chubb 24 in his fab in honor of Chubb. Brandon making the playoffs after starting the season with a 2-5 record. Kyle winning the championship after finishing in second place in 2019 and third place in 2022. Dewey ending the regular season 4-2 after a historically ass 0-8 start. Yep, the worst start in Footbap history. I guarantee you no one's going to start 0-8 again. There was a lot of history in this
It's
league.
impressive to do that.
No, seriously. And
it's
then
impressive to lose that many.
And then Nick going 5-0-1 in the final 6 weeks, including the playoffs after starting the season 2-9. The winner of the feel good story of the year is Dewey. Dewey wins feel good story of the year, finishing 4-2 after his historically ass start. I think that people just like the narrative of like he was 0-8 and he didn't give up. You know, he was 0-8 and he still finished the year out. Yeah, he finished the year out, especially when we had people like Paul giving their team away for free. Dewey actually stayed in the ring.
Bad story of the year.
Yeah, Paul is the feel bad story of the year.
I was trying to improve.
Now this one's really close, by the way. Dewey only won it by 1 vote. He got 5 votes.
A lot of stories this season that people are resonating with.
You know, it's hilarious that Kyle was the lead. I thought that when I've made this, I thought that the ones that were going to win. I voted for Ryan, by the way, on this. I thought that
Nick.
I thought it was going to be Ryan, Kyle, or Nick, and those were the 3 that I was debating between. And I thought that it was going to be like, I thought that it was going to end up being like, I don't know, Kyle wins, and then like Nick is shortly behind, and then like Ryan, just because Ryan's has to do with Nick Chubb, and we're Browns fans. So I was like, everyone's going to say
Steelers fan in there. I know Steve probably went in and negative voted for that one.
So yeah,
and
Dewey.
Dave.
So Dewey has 2 awards so far, right? Because or did Dewey? Oh no. This is the 3rd award. Yeah. Never mind. Yeah. So Dewey wins his first bappy of the night. For the feel good story of the year.
Congrats, Dewey. Congrats.
Yeah. And any of these were worthy winners. I'm glad we at least got a winner. Like imagine if someone flipped Dewey and Kyle.
That'd be the feel good story.
Yeah.
Just ties.
Everyone wins feel good. Yeah, I mean all these deserve to win. Dewey gets it. Thanks for playing this year, Dewey, and sticking through. So our next award is the ass of the year. And that is between Paul,
who won this one.
between Paul, Dewey, Mike, and Nick. And the winner of Ass of the Year is Paul. Congratulations, Paul. We actually had 2. We actually had Mike got second place in Ass of the Year with 2 votes, and Dewey got a vote as well. I would love to know who voted Mike and Dewey there. I thought that it was going to be a Paul sweep. Paul, you win your first bappy.
Oh
yeah, he probably did. Yeah,
I want to win something.
So. Yeah, so are you gonna hang this one up on a banner?
I'm gonna keep it in a glass case and look at it every week or every day as I mock during the summer.
Oh man,
it'll give you some motivation. Yeah. So Ass of the Year, Paul, congratulations on that. Now next, bappy is the worst draft pick. So we got a lot of bad draft picks this year, which is just, makes sense when it's such a shitty year scoring in general these last couple of years. The first player we got on here was Devontae Adams getting picked 4th overall. We had T. Higgins getting picked in the 2nd round. We had Damian Pierce getting picked in the 4th round. Najee Harris in the 3rd. Christian Watson in the... Oh no, it's cut off. I'm looking on mobile to not spoil. That's ass. Either way,
I can read them out if you need.
Yeah, read them out. Read them.
Tab, put it on your other
yeah, I got it. It's fine. So we got Christian Watson round 4, Alexander Madison round 4, Miles Sanders round 5. I never got him from Austin. Still pissed. Patrick Mahomes in round 3, Ramondre Stevenson round 3, Calvin Midley in round 3.
Whoa.
Dalvin Cook.
Your MVP.
Josh Jacobs round 2, Aaron Jones round 4, Cam Akers round 5, Joe Burrow round 4, Trevor Lawrence round 6, Darren Waller round 6, and Deontay Johnson round 4. So I think I have 3 players on here, so that's great.
Yeah, I want to see. I'll have to see how many I have. So we're gonna go through the top 3 here, I think, but hopefully there's one that won it, and I can tell just by looking someone did win it. And the winner of worst draft pick of the year goes to Mike for taking Davante Adams 4th overall. So I think that's a really good like worst draft pick, because if you think about it, it's not just that Davante Adams went 4th overall. I think he finished as like, let's see. Oh my god, because he ended with 2 good weeks
Damn.
at the end of the year. Otherwise, Devontae was not a top 20 wide receiver all year long. But either way, it was more the fact that he takes Devontae over Tyreek, even Bijan, even Diggs, even though he sucked at the end of the year. Like, basically all these people he took Devontae Adams over was like, it was that's a tough look. And second worst pick of the year goes to T. Higgins, tied with Dameon Pierce. So those two are those are the top 3 worst draft picks of the year. Nick took T. Higgins. Dameon Pierce was that Dave?
Dave, yeah.
Dameon Pierce took Dave in round 4. Yeah. So. Oh, the picture down here. So yeah, 9 votes for Devontae, 6 for T and Dameon Pierce. This one could have gone to a lot of guys. So I'll ask you guys who you voted for. So first off, I'll say my votes were for Devontae Adams and T Higgins first of all, because like T Higgins was that's a second round pick, and Devontae Adams 4th overall. Like, that's just such a high pick. And then my third pick was Miles Sanders, because I was like, I was between Miles and Dalvin Cook. Like, I know they were 5th and 6th round picks, but those were 2 guys that basically didn't generate a fantasy point all year long. Like, you picked a top 5, 6 round player, they basically couldn't be you didn't start them a single week. Like, that's a weight. You threw a pick away.
Yeah, that was my reasoning. I picked Cam Akers as my first choice because like round 5 again, and he played 3 weeks maybe.
Agreed.
Right?
Yeah, that's
like,
another good one. Yep.
So Cam Akers and then Dameon Pierce, and I think my last one was Ramondre Stevenson. He kind of got hurt, but like still round 3 for a running back that didn't really do shit. That's pretty bad.
Ryan, who did you
I can't
pick?
recall exactly who mine were. The philosophy though I had, because I see T Higgins is up there, and it's like I didn't want to pick someone who picked like a player that got screwed over by an injury or not having a quarterback. Because it's like, in hindsight, how are you supposed to know that? You know. So I guess when I was judging it, is that like technically a bad pick if they can't know that that's coming, or is it worse that you have all the knowledge and pick someone like Davante Adams? You know, I think I voted Davante Adams.
Well,
as one of them.
Even when Higgins had Joe Burrow, he scored 0, 25, 3,
Burrow was
3,
still
and
not
3.
like himself, you know.
He kind of was getting back in it, but towards like that week 5 when he had 3, like Joe Burrow was doing all right after week 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So
Christian Watson was a really, really good one, but the only thing is he was injured for like most of that.
I think that's why I think I picked Adams. I think I picked Calvin Ridley specifically because Paul took him right 1 pick before I got Josh Allen, which was pretty awesome. So that looks pretty bad. Again, that's a hindsight thing, but and then I think I might have did Christian Watson because he was injured and had no real timeline when.
Yeah, Christian Watson, I think, might have finished as like wide receiver 70, 60 wide receivers.
Wow.
But again, his was like so injury based that I felt like I couldn't like.
That's the only one. Yeah. He was actually injured off rip though. So I at least feel comfortable. Like,
Miles Sanders' game log is so bad.
Miles Sanders didn't get injured all year long. Was RB 54, 9, 6, 15, 4. Yeah, 15, 4, 1, 0. Look, not injured. He had carries for 0 yards.
This one was tough. I don't recall who I picked because there's a lot of tough ones here.
Miles Sanders was an awful pick. Dalvin Cook, RB 76, didn't get hurt.
He still played it.
Yeah, he got cut before these aren't injured. He was off the team.
Cam Akers the same way. Oh no, he got injured technically. Never mind. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, looking back, I wish I would have voted Dalvin over T Higgins, but God, that is
It's
just
tough. There's a lot of
A lot of ass to go
a lot of
around.
stink going on.
yeah. Cam Akers, yeah. Even before he got hurt, no double-digit points weeks. Like there was a lot of bad here. Trevor Lawrence get it. I think it is that one vote or two. Like Trevor Lawrence, he's a quarterback, so it can be overlooked because there's so many guys that you can like replace them with. Remember when Trevor Lawrence was like 10 weeks into the season and like hadn't scored more than 15? Look at that. 17, 9, 15,
He didn't hit 20 for the
16,
longest
15.
time.
Like he was and
What
Gorman took him in
what was
round
his year
6.
last year?
Pretty much
Mid.
the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's never been anything
Does
better
he just
than
have high
mediocre.
expectations because
Yes.
He was the number one
And
overall
They
pick.
hyped
So
up the Jags offense so much. That's why I picked Ridley. So
mhm.
people probably believed it.
Yeah, he was supposed to be a generational quarterback and like change the game of football forever. And it was funny because they were like, dude, he's the most pro-ready prospect we've ever seen. And me and Nick Barlow at the time would always be like, why are they saying he's like pro-ready? Because his best strength in college was that he like was good at running the football as a quarterback. I don't know where they got that he was like this pro-ready guy, like not and was like, oh, he's a pocket passer because he like never was in college. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Trevor Lawrence gets more excuses than anyone in the NFL, though. Him and Baker are like they. It doesn't even if they suck. It's never their
It's
fault.
unfortunate Browns don't play them and instead play CJ
I know.
Stroud and
Yeah.
Nick Collins in
Kind of makes it
Texas.
more respectable, though. You know, makes it a better game.
No, I would rather play the Jags and win.
Well, yeah,
we would have
but that's a
smoked the
Mickey win.
Jags. No, that's not. No one would say it's a Mickey win though because they
If
still
they
think
got there, they got there. You know, I mean,
Patrick Mahomes
Yeah.
basically was a second round pick, and this man sucked for Nick.
that
too.
one's also tough. I don't think I. 'cause
It's there weren't
he
injuries
wasn't
that
injured,
happened there.
right?
No, he just
His
wasn't good.
receiving like
Yeah, but
team,
it doesn't
his
matter if
receiving
offense
his
is
unit
just
was
horrible.
just
Even-
so bad. Yeah.
even if it's his
Dude,
like
how many-
not his fault, like it's his receiver's fault. He still
I guess you need
was
to,
a
like,
bad
know that
draft
his-
pick, you know.
But it's
Yeah.
like everybody in their mom like mocked like top 3 quarterbacks: Mahomes,
Mhm.
Allen, and
Like,
I guess Lamar.
Yeah,
and it's
last
like,
year it was the same kind of
Or
team though.
Hurts,
Like
sorry,
they just
Hurts.
only had Travis Kelce and a bunch of mid receivers, and he did well. So like I don't know,
So it's
he
like I
just
could
sucked.
see it not being that terrible. Like,
Yeah, they
although
just
where
expected
was
what
the-
happened last year.
how- I don't know where he was picked. Round 3.
Round
I mean,
3.
that's
Like,
yeah.
almost
I saw him
round
go round
2.
3 a lot. I mean,
I mean, if
Mahomes is
you
there,
asked
Hurts is
me
there,
like
and
what
Allen.
who would be the quarterbacks that like I would have taken going into this year, I would have easily taken Josh. I mean, he's been the number 1 quarterback or number 2 quarterback for like 4 years straight. So I would have said Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts over Patrick Mahomes easily. Like Patrick Mahomes probably would have been tied with like Lamar and like Herbert for me, basically. Like they don't have the rushing upside of like Lamar has the rushing upside, but he doesn't have the passing upside of like Josh Allen, you know. But I don't know. Patrick Mahomes has been
Mahomes
so
just
funny because
hit
that
the-
one year he threw 50 touchdowns and he's been the first quarterback off the board ever since, and he's never been the number 1 quarterback in fantasy
Really?
since.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he gets taken first in fantasy every year because of that one
I
year.
assume he's always top 3, right?
At least
Maybe.
not 5.
Uh,
I mean, Lamar and Hurts and Allen were last year. I'm pretty sure.
Let's see.
don't think
Fantasy
Mahomes is top 3.
football.
Wow.
I don't know. QB season rankings. Let's see. There's got to be something.
I've been 2022.
Yeah.
That list right there. I think Joe Flacco's up there. Oh.
All right. Let's see.
Oh boy.
What the fuck? Well, this
The
can't be
40s,
right.
22?
This was 2022. Oh,
stupid ass scoring or
this
something.
is gonna
what type
be-
of scoring?
yeah. This is some dumb scoring. I don't know if we're gonna get a website like as good as that though.
I mean, I guess it'll still show who like 1, 2, and 3 is, regardless of scoring, right?
These are all bad scoring. Yeah, whatever. Either way, I just remember for so long, like after that 50 touchdown season, I remember Mahomes finished like 8 the next year, and then like 4, and then 6 or something, and it was like it almost didn't matter where he finished because people would just take him number 1. And every year, I haven't had like the spot to take Josh Allen because he's such a cheat code. You get to draft him as like the QB 2 or 3, and he's guaranteed
nice
to finish
Josh
first.
Allen,
Yeah, he's when it was round
besides
3.
that 1 week, the first week of the entry week of the season against Mike, Josh Allen, that was not fun. But
His class, we'll get to that.
I wanted so bad to have a middle round pick because I wanted to take in round 3. I wanted to take either Hurts or Josh Allen. So it was killing me when it was getting towards the end of round 3, and I was like, I know I'm not getting Josh Allen because he's not going to drop to the end of the 3rd. That'd be insane. But yeah, no, Josh Allen has like been the number 1 or 2 quarter. Like I want to say he was QB1, QB2. Last year was Jalen Hurts who was 1, and now QB1 again this year. It's like he's just the best fantasy quarterback. Like I don't know why we take anyone else over him. But yeah, worst draft pick, Devontae Adams. Congratulations, Mike. You took home the prize. I'm assuming next one is best draft pick.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. So
I'm gonna read them out.
I have these ones.
Okay.
They are DJ Moore in the 4th round, who finished as wide receiver 7. Michael Pittman, actually, yeah. So Michael Pittman in the 7th round, he finished as wide receiver 16, and he missed a game, like maybe even a game and a half. Rashee Rice in the 14th round, he finished as wide receiver 22, but he came on like at the end of the year. Like he was big for Steve for the last like 8 weeks of the season. He kept scoring double-digit points. Monty Ryan, 6th round. He finished as RB14 while missing 3 games. Gus Edwards, RB19. He was taken in the 14th round. Underrated pick right there. Like Gus Edwards realistically should have been a waiver wire pickup. I don't know why he was still on the team.
If Dobbins didn't get hurt, Gus Edwards would have been useless. That's the other thing.
No, yeah. That's why I'm saying Gus Edwards was way more of like should have been a waiver wire pickup guy. But still, he was taken in the 4th round and was gigantic for Gorman to end the year. Like I want to see these ending because I don't think people were realizing. It was Dewey. Yeah, Dewey was giant for Dewey down the stretch. 21 points, 28, 17, 9, 24, 1. Okay, but 13, 11. Like when you have just a random fucking nobody just dropping 20 pointers for you, like that was. I don't think people really realized that Gus Edwards had so many pop off games, but 14th round is pretty crazy. Nico Collins in the 10th round. Paul actually made a good pick, traded him away. Finished wide receiver 17, and he missed 4 games. So basically a top 10 wide receiver in points per game. Keenan Allen, 4th round, finished wide receiver 8, and he missed 3 games, which is crazy. That Keenan Allen. I thought Keenan Allen was there. There are other guys that I thought should win best draft pick, but Keenan Allen was my 4th pick because
I think there were a couple games in there too where Herbert, where he played, Keenan Allen played, but Herbert was out too, which is still crazy as well.
Yeah, at the beginning of the season, Herbert was like almost single-handedly carrying Ryan to wins, like for like maybe like 3 of the first
Keenan
5
Allen
weeks
and
or
Mike
something.
Williams.
Yeah, the duo.
Fateful day.
When
was amazing.
Was it Keenan that threw a touchdown to Mike?
Yeah,
the other way around.
Incredible. And then I think that same game, Mike Williams ended up getting a season-ending injury. I think that was that game. I was on cloud 9, and 15 minutes later, it all came crumbling down.
So Brandon Ayuk taken in the 5th round, wide receiver 12, and he missed 2 games. So again, another top 10 wide receiver points per game. Breece Hall, so weird. So Breece Hall, 5th round, finished RB6. Such a strange like season because like Breece Hall was basically useless for like a lot of the year. Like to begin the year, 15, 0, 3, 8, 27, 18, 18, like 9, 8, 16, 8, 8. Like he was basically mediocre. And then to end the year, 23, and then 2. Like he even has a 2 in there. Yeah. In the playoffs, though, 37, 23, 28. Like he ended so crazy. Like I don't know if he finishes RB6, and taking an RB6 in the 5th round on paper just is like that's a good
crazy.
pick.
You finish RB6 and that's what your spread looks like.
Exactly,
like many sub 10s on there.
Yeah, like he lost you more weeks than he won you, but like he technically finished RB6, so he's a weird one. Mike Evans in the 8th round finished wide receiver 4. I actually wonder if he actually is 5 because of this last week, but whatever. This was a fucking slam dunk pick, dude. I mean, this was to take a top 5 wide receiver in the 8th round, and he basically got you double digits every
so
single
good.
week. Yeah, like that was
Yeah.
a really fucking good pick. Pacheco in the 6th round, RB12 missing 2 games. So basically, again, another top 10 running back in
That was
points
really
per
good.
game. Raheem Mostert in the 9th round, finished
Number
RB2.
2.
Yeah,
Insane.
that is
That's
a
crazy.
fucking
That's
crazy
gotta win, I
pick.
think.
That is a crazy pick. And then Sam Laporta, 14th
That one
round,
also has
tight
to
end
win.
one. Yep. See that this is what when I came into it, I said like it was no question to me. I was voting
Clear
Laporta,
3.
Mostert, and Mike Evans. Yeah, it was
I
like,
think we all voted the same 3.
and I
Yeah.
thought it was going to finish as all 3 of those tied. Now let's see who won best draft pick of the year, and it goes to me with Sam Laporta by like a landslide, dude. I was shocked that more people didn't vote Mostert. Even more shocking was that Pacheco got
Pacheco
more
over Mike
points
Evans.
than
Yeah.
Mike Evans, dude.
Did
I
Mike
was-
Evans disrespect?
I know, dude.
know.
It made me
Crazy.
think that people like just didn't watch the Bucks or like even notice that Mike Evans was going off or something. Like I think maybe if Mike Evans was on Kyle's roster the whole year and he never traded him away, maybe people would have like realized it. I thought that it was going to finish like Laporta, Mostert, Evans. Everyone was going to vote those 3, but there were a ton of other votes too because even Breece Hall got the same as Mike Evans, and that game log does not warrant that at
Right.
all. Even
It's
the
not fair.
like it's wild. DJ Moore only got 1 vote. I guess that makes sense. DJ Moore's game log, again, he finished wide receiver 7, but his was also ugly, dude.
Yeah. You gotta look
3.
at Pittman after.
Yeah. So this was DJ Moore 3, 13, 11, 23, 45,
He
but
had
then
that rough
8,
stretch,
9,
6
8.
6 to 10.
Yeah.
45 carried him. Big time.
Even at the end of the year, finishing 24-7, 3, 26-8, like he was just like inconsistent. I think people were unaware of how consistent Michael Pittman was. So this was getting
Michael
1
Pittman was
vote
good.
makes well look at it though. Like he scored double-digit points basically
Yeah.
every single week until he got injured. Like this against the
Like, he had
Steelers, and
Minshew,
then
too.
yeah, he and so Michael Pittman was like, all these picks were like great picks. Like if you honestly like, I think that the worst picks on here, like the ones that weren't as good or like are misleading, I think were Breece Hall and DJ Moore, and maybe a little bit of Gus Edwards, just because, like you said, it was only because of like injury. But like all these picks were just so fucking good. Like all these guys basically were top 10 point per game guys when they were playing, like in games they played, and like all of them went in the 4th round or later. It is wild though. Like I understand like how Laporta won, like a 14th round pick being the best player at their position, at a skilled position, is wild. But I do think Mostert should have been like closer at the very least. And I think Mike Evans should at least be up there too. But yeah, Laporta wins the best draft pick. I didn't want to call it fantasy MVP because I feel like if we did fantasy MVP, it just would go to
CMC.
Yeah, it would just go to CMC. I'd feel like, yeah, maybe CD too. But as it stands right now, Laporta, I tried getting in every single one of my leagues. I didn't get him in my work league because I was afraid if I like tripled down on him, then I would feel like shit if he, sucked. And my tight end was Jake Ferguson. I guess that was like okay in that league, but yeah, these were the best picks from this year. Sam Laporta, tight end. Who would have guessed a tight end would be the best pick? And now let's get to the waiver wires. Thank you. I totally knew that was going to happen. You know what? Actually, fuck you, Paul, because I remember us having a conversation where I said what happened where I think I was trying to get a flex player because I had someone get hurt. Maybe when Tank Dell got hurt or something. And I was
Don't
like,
bring this up.
and I was like,
I was in a dark place, dude. I just didn't want to deal with anything.
I fucking offered as a joke too, because I was never gonna do this. I do this to a lot of people in the league. I offer them shitty trades that are shitty for me and good for them, and see if they say yes or no, just to test, because I feel like everyone just says fucking no to me. So I offered Paul Laporta for was it just Saquon, or was it like Laporta and someone for Saquon?
No, it was
Paul?
Saquon. It was just Saquon, but I.
Laporta for Saquon. Yeah, Laporta for Saquon when Saquon was doing bad. His quarterback is Danny DeVito, I offered it as a joke, and Paul was like, "Nah, dude, I'd rather have Saquon." And I was like, he was like, "I'd only do it for Travis Kelce," and I was like, "Dude, Travis Kelce is like washed. Like Laporta is the better tight end at this point. Like, how could you say that?" So it's funny looking back on that now, because Paul, going back in time, would you have done that trade? But then again, you didn't even
but then
care
I'd have
about
no
winning.
running backs. I don't even know. Kareem Hunt is my fucking running back.
Kareem Hunt is RB1, which ended up being the case anyways, didn't it?
Yeah,
No.
that ended up being your running back.
Wait, who were you?
Who else
He
did I
was
have?
starting
Johnny
Kareem.
T. Johnny T.
He was
dude.
starting
Oh, that's
Kareem
right.
Hunt.
Yeah.
Oh, good times. But yeah, no, that was funny because remember you said you'd only give up Saquon for a tight end scoring like 12 points per game, and I was like, you motherfucker, he is scoring 12 points per game. Good times. And that because I think you were trying to get Kelce off of Ryan, and I was like, dude, I honestly think Laporta is like better in fantasy
This
than.
might have been somewhat earlier in the season though, when like you couldn't tell if Kelce or Laporta were gonna pan out how they did.
They were both
I don't
like
know when this was.
They were both. The only thing is, yeah, this is when they were both equal. Like Laporta was tight end 2 and Kelce was tight end 3, and they were like both doing the same thing. But even at that time, the Lions' offense was like amazing, and the Chiefs' offense was like bad, and Kelce was already like kind of like not performing well because Kelce was good for a bit in like the beginning, and then he like just fell off. But either way, it's just wild looking back on that even like happened. But let's go to the worst waiver pickup is our next bappy here. Our picks are Paul picking up Imari DiMercado for $24, who finished as RB57. I don't know if Paul started him. Did you start him, Paul?
I did for 1 week, and he actually did well. He just didn't play like the rest of the year. So.
Kareem Hunt.
You beat me, Paul?
Probably.
I think it might be. I think you actually got.
He had like
some use
18
out
or
of it.
something. He did
Yeah,
well.
I think it might have been against me.
Kareem Hunt for $40 finished as RB37. I actually think he may have finished worse than that, but whatever. Darrell Henderson for $30. He finished as RB66. I don't think Darrell Henderson did anything either.
He got cut, right?
I think
Is he still on the Rams?
he might not be on it. He definitely never did anything. The Washington Commanders defense for $16, the worst defense in the NFL. Defense 32 for $16.
I got to give it to Steve though. This is a little misleading. He just had money to spare towards the end of the year.
He was.
But it's still
That
funny.
is a bad pick anyways. So.
Yeah, it's still funny.
You're picking up the worst defense regardless for any money is wild. Will Levis for $18, QB 32, got Austin -1 points in the fucking third place game. Jordan Mason for $10. RB 68 did nothing after that Browns game. This one's my favorite. Yeah. Dave picked up Zach Evans for $6. Literally scored a single point the entire season. He basically picked up someone that didn't do fucking it. I wonder if there's a way for me to even like is he on the Rams? I don't even know if he's on the Rams anymore. He wasn't. Oh, he is. Yes, this is Zach Evans' game log 0-1-0-0. Dave fucking picked this motherfucker up for $6. He did have the inside scoop. Jameson Williams for $13. He finished as wide receiver 81. Like useless. This is Paul Matt Breida for $15. Matt Breida $15. RB67. That is so good. All right, let's see who wins worst waiver wire pickup of the year, and the winner is. Oh, it's Steve with the defense for $16. The worst defense in the NFL for $16. The second, he got 12 votes on that one. 60% of the votes. This was a choose 2-1. So there were also 10 votes for Kareem Hunt. And then the next highest was 9 votes for Zach Evans. See, I thought Zach Evans should win because I didn't think Zach Evans should win. Like realistically, these are all really bad pickups. I think that the two I voted for though were DiMercado and Zach Evans because I just thought it was funny. Like that's mid-season Dave, October. You're trying to like not spend a lot of money and you spend $6 on Zach Evans, who is just like, who is Zach Evans? Like, why the fuck did that happen? So fucking funny. But congrats to Steve, and also a shout out to Paul for implementing the defense tax. The fact that a defense got picked up for $16 in general, let alone the worst defense in the league, just goes to show Paul's impact on Footbaps for years to come.
I'm proud.
Thanks, Paul.
I'm proud.
All right, now let's get to another positive one. So that's Steve who wins worst pickup there. Let's go to the best pickup. Oh my gosh, I was reading it and it says Q8 next to it because it's question 8, but I thought it said QB best waiver pickup, and I was like, dude, you probably confused everyone. Quarterback best pickup? No, so best waiver pickup. This one's the funny one, Paul, because I think we talked about it. All right, so one of the ones up is Jerome Ford for $53, finished as RB15. Brock Purdy for $5, finished as QB6. Jordan Love for $4, finished as QB5. Tank Dell for $32, wide receiver 11 before season-ending injury in week 13. You know what's wild about that he was wide receiver 11. He had missed like a week or two earlier in the season too. So wow, he was really. I'd love Tank Dell. I wish. Well, you know what? It probably helps the Browns out that he's not playing for the Texans. Kyron Williams for $23 finishes the RB4. CJ Stroud for $4 was the QB4 before he got hurt. Puka for $23 finishes a wide receiver 6. And Dak Prescott for $3 finishes a QB4. And the winner for best waiver pickup of the year is a tie between Puka and Dak Prescott. Now, I think in most leagues, there would not be a Paul Ketterer dropping Dak Prescott to the waivers. So I think that Puka would have won in a landslide, or maybe rivaled by Kyron a little bit. Kyron missed time, though.
I think I voted Kyron as the...
Yeah, I voted
Kyron and
Kyron was
someone else.
Crazy, man.
Yeah,
I think I had a Kyron and Puka.
Let me check.
Both of them were the same week too. Me and Mike picked them, but Mike wanted both of them. I think.
It was after
I
we
outbid him by 1 point or $1.
Yeah, so the only reason I didn't vote for Kyron, was just because he missed like 5 games. That was, and he had like some like. I think that Kyron
like
probably
2 games near 7, and then everything else was disgusting when he played. That's so crazy.
Yeah, I voted for Dak and Puka though, because Dak is the reason Kyle's team took that step.
I definitely voted Dak.
Yeah, it was Dak and Puka for me. I wish, you know what? I thought it was funny that CJ Stroud has 8 votes. I think that's literally just because I sent this out to all our viewers and stuff too. So this got sent to like my sister and stuff. So I'm guessing my sister was just like, I like CJ Stroud and picked him, and I bet Molly did the same thing of like, oh, CJ Stroud and picked him. Like, I don't know how he got 8 votes. It's breaking my mind to think who would have picked CJ Stroud. No offense to CJ Stroud. These were all really good pickups. You know, I know who fucking voted Jerome Ford though. 1 vote, and that's Ryan.
It wasn't me.
That was Ryan. That was
me. I don't think.
Ryan.
I swear, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember. I think I voted Prescott and Puka. I think. No. Prescott and Williams. I think I voted Dak and Kyron. I think.
And Jerome Ford.
I think maybe someone voted Jerome Ford because they saw that put me to $24, and they're
Browns fan.
And you know, he
might just be a Browns fan.
I was gonna say there could just be a Browns fan too.
He would have been a way better pickup if I didn't do the $53 on him.
Yeah.
To make the 24,
if you only put like if you only put like $15, yeah.
But what dumbass bonehead would possibly drop the 2 best quarterbacks in this voting?
Dude.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Paul had CJ Stroud and Dak in his possession, dropped both of them, which is wild. Absolutely bizarre.
Historic ass.
Yeah, that is historic ass. But yeah, Dak and Puka, Dak for $3 nonetheless. That's a really great pickup. And now onto an award that our viewers are going to be have been very interested about. The most loyal viewer of the year award. So we have up for this award is Molly, Nick Barlow, Lauren, Dave's mom, Jacobson, and my sister Madison. So everyone, viewer of the year goes to a 3-way tie between Madison, Jacobson, and Mrs. Sisson. So this is I thought that Mrs. Sisson was going to win in a landslide. I felt bad for Madison and Jacobson because I was like, hey, they're loyal viewers. Like, in any other year, it would have been. I feel like it would have been a tough. It would have been tough to pick between the two. But I'm glad that this ended in a tie. Potentially our 3 best viewers: Dave's mom, who watched 10 minutes of an episode once, Jacobson, and my sister. Congratulations on your bappies. Okay, so I am wondering who you guys voted for. I voted for my sister because I thought that no one else was going to vote for her.
I think in the end, I probably should have voted for your sister because I mean, she was like commenting on every video. So
Yeah.
oh, shit.
Yeah.
I think it's probably Madison. And I was talking to Paul afterwards. I'm like, oh yeah, I voted Jacobson. I like it sounded like Jacobson was keeping up, and also he had that one segment which was fun.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah, Jacobson was watching every
realistically-
week. Yeah, I probably should have voted for
in
Jacobson.
The end, I didn't actually know, so either of those would have been my 2.
Yeah. Yeah, Paul,
Yeah.
who'd you vote for?
Yeah, so Lauren's a piece of every episode, so that made
Oh
sense.
yeah, she's the
And I also-
outro.
Yeah, so she is technically in every episode, but does she watch every episode? She definitely does not. So, but I did kind of feel bad. I knew she voted for herself, so I didn't want to be like, oh, you just have one vote. She was asking me,
like
when's
Molly.
this gonna come up? When's the
Molly-
results? All this shit. So I was like, I
Molly
gotta
voted
tell
for
you.
herself.
I know.
Yes, Molly voted for herself and got 1 vote. I opened the results when I was on FaceTime with her, and I was like, "No, Molly." I was like, "You got 1 vote." It
I
was
should
yourself.
have not voted for Lauren to keep her alive. I guess.
I know I should have. Now I wish I voted for Molly. No, realistically, I mean, Dave's mom watching 10 minutes was an amazing part of this season. Jacobson was a huge part of this. Like you said, Madison was commenting and liking every video. That helps the channel out. Lauren's the outro. I don't know who the other person who voted Nick for besides himself was. That one's hilarious. And then Molly pretty much did nothing for the show, but she voted for herself. So congratulations to our 3 winners. Yep, biggest choke of the year now. This is
a good one.
Yeah, this is a good one. So our candidates for biggest choke of the year is Gorman, who started 7-2, ended the year winning just 1 more game, so he finished 8-5-1, and then he lost in the first round of the playoffs and only finished in 6th place. Austin, he started the season 6-1. He had a long stint of being in first place, and then he didn't start Joe Flacco or Zeke in the semifinals for no reason, and then lost to Kyle and also came in 4th place, so didn't even get money back in 3rd place after starting 6-1. Chip, he started the season 5-0 with sole possession of first place, the only undefeated team. He traded his entire team and then finished the season 8-6, so ended it 3-6, and then failed to win it all, although he did finish 3rd place. And then Mike, who uninstalled the fantasy app with 2 weeks left in the regular season while still having an opportunity to make the playoffs. Mike didn't change his lineup. He left in an injured player in his tight end who scored 0 points. He ended up losing that week by 4. And if he would have started the tight end, he would have won. And he missed the playoffs by 1 game after starting the season 3-1. So the winner for biggest choke of the year goes to... Whoa, who did I miss?
You didn't read Steve.
Oh, where's that? Oh, good call. So Steve was a clear top 3 team all season. He went into the playoffs with a week 1 bye, was the number 1 overall seed, and then he scored just a mere 79 points in the championship game and lost by 40 in embarrassing fashion. Embarrassing also as he was a previous winner. So the biggest choke of the year goes to, I think it's no surprise, Mike. 55% of the votes, 11 votes. Mike wins choke of the year. And yeah, he choked. He uninstalled the app for no reason when he was 7-6, I think, or when he was 6-6, whatever it was.
I think it was 7-6.
No, because he won his last week of the year. He was 6-6. And then he won the last year. If he would have won the week before, he would have made it. But either way. Yeah, he had a chance to make the playoffs, make a run at a title. Instead, he uninstalls the app, goes baby wawa mode, cries, gets his binky and his baba, and then misses out on the playoffs. In second place is a tie between Chip and Steve. Gorman surprisingly only getting one vote because Gorman we thought he was the best team at one point.
Mm-hmm.
But I can see where Chip and Steve come in. Steve was a favorite all year long. It has. I think Steve gets up there with the 3 votes. People just saying, he the way he lost in the championship. He had a bye. He kind of just, skated to that championship game and then just pissed his pants in the biggest stage. It wasn't a good look. And then Chip, yeah, you're 5-0. You completely rearranged your entire team, and then at least he finished third place. But either way, congrats to Mike on the biggest choke of the year. And now we have our most exciting game of the year award. The nominees for this are Paul versus Brandon week 1, when Garrett Wilson had a crazy one-handed touchdown in the fourth quarter, game-winning touchdown on Monday night, and I beat Paul by 2. Mike and Ryan week 1. That was when Josh Allen had the piss class on Monday night and only scored 9 points. And Ryan lost by half a point to Mike. Week 3, Nick versus me, where Nick's defense scored 31 points and Jamar Chase scored 20 points on Monday night to beat me by 1 point. He actually caught a 50-yard pass in the fourth quarter, and that's what gave him the 1-point lead. That sucked. Chip versus Brandon week 4, where Chip's defense scored 29 points on Monday night and Chip beat me by 1 point. Nick versus Dewey in week 9, where Dewey won the Sad Bowl by .02, the closest margin of victory in Footbaps history. I don't think we're ever going to see a .02 ever again. Like, I don't think we'll ever see a .01 either. But yeah, the closest margin of victory in the Sad Bowl by 2 teams that at that point were like 1-8. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just because 1 passing yard is .04, so I don't know where .02 even came from. Like, what's the difference there?
Maybe it's something.
Yeah,
I genuinely have no idea. That's funny as fuck. Yeah, I have no idea.
There's no half a passing yard, but yeah.
Oh, it was because. Wasn't it because someone on his team threw a pass that wasn't a quarterback?
Derrick Henry threw one, but still, it's like.
No, it wasn't Derrick. Derrick Henry's on Gorman's team. It was like Jamar Chase or someone. Oh, it was it. Oh, dude, this is a. Let's do some research. Let's do some research. This was week 9, Dewey versus Nick. Yeah. Let's see.
Someone threw a pass. I know that. Yeah, you're right. Forget who.
I think it was Jamar Chase, because we looked at this and you were like, how the fuck did Jamar Chase get whatever? Oh no, the 6.1. So it wasn't Jamar Chase.
The fuck? Did someone on Dewey's team throw a pass?
Maybe. Yeah, I guess Jordan Love. What happened with Jordan Love this week? Wait.
Oh.
You can have .2s. You can have .2s.
Yeah,
they all have .2s.
Eventually you'll get like 12.
Yeah. Okay. You just confused everyone on the show. Yeah. And now another one of our nominees for this was Austin versus me in the first. I love that I'm on here 4 times. That's awesome. All on the losing end. Oh no, week 1. Besides against Paul's historically ass team. First round of the playoffs, I was up by 1 heading into Monday night. Me and Austin both had our kickers left. Austin's kicker scored 4, mine scored 2, and Austin won by 1 point to have his first playoff victory. And then our last nominee is Gorman versus Nick. It was the second ever tie in Footbaps history, first ever tie with the new scoring format. And something happened where it was like the last play of the game resulted in the tie.
One. Yeah. This was the passing game. I don't know.
Oh, okay, you're right. I think it was Jamar Chase though. I'm looking at
or Derrick Henry, because Gorman has him in this case.
Oh, you're right. You're right. All right, let's see. Yeah, Derrick Henry definitely was attempting pass. It was Jamar Chase.
Damn.
Jamar Chase attempting a pass. They don't even. If I look at complete stats, do you think it show? Passing. That -7 pass. Oh my god, it was bad for Nick. He threw a -7-yard pass, and that's why Gorman tied him. Gorman wouldn't have tied him if that even just was incomplete. That's fucked up, actually. that adds another layer. So winner of the most excited game of the year actually goes to Nick versus Gorman in week 13. Fitting because it's a tie. The Sad Bowl and Mike versus Ryan are tied in second. How the fuck did Mike versus Ryan make that?
That was my vote.
Josh Allen absolutely
I voted for that one.
got the fans roaring.
Yeah,
and
I think
Drake London 0 that game too was another fun little.
I definitely voted for Dewey and Nick just because it was the Sad Bowl, I think, but all great choices. And Gorman versus Nick, a tie like
Gorman and Nick.
a tie with these like decimal like places, you know, is just in the scoring format's crazy.
At the time too, you were explaining how this happened, and I think we saw that Chase threw negative yards.
Yeah, the -7 passing yards. So oh yeah, that one deserves to win. I'm glad that Gorman and Nick win most exciting game of the year. And now we have the most loyal player-manager relationship, which was, you know, whoever drafted a player and never drafted them, no matter how ass or injured they were. The nominees for this were me and Elijah Moore, Paul and Jerry Jeudy, Ryan and Nick Chubb, Nick and Curtis Samuel, Ryan and Tyler Algier, Gorman and Odell Beckham Jr., Ryan and Tyjae Spears, Austin and Miles Sanders, Dewey and JSN, Dave and AJ Dillon, and Brandon and Zach Charbonnet. Let's see who wins the most loyal, and I think I know who it's going to be. And it is Ryan and Nick Chubb. Ryan wins most loyal manager of the year for holding on to Nick Chubb's injured ass all year long since week 2. But a second place there by Paul for Paul and Jerry Jeudy. Yeah, Paul, that was
a lot.
That's pretty good.
17 votes for Ryan, 10 for Paul and Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, I feel like I was just more vocal about it.
Yeah,
like,
I was gonna say like the aura of Jerry Jeudy like, really emanated with the fans.
Yeah, because like I realized when we were making these awards, like I noticed on your team, I was like, you have Elijah Moore. I remember you drafted him. I was like, what the fuck? You're like, I just never said anything. I was like, yeah, like that's like the same type of thing. You just never played him or dropped him.
Yeah, I didn't have anyone to like drop him for, so I was like, I guess we'll just keep him.
Like that's literally Nick and Curtis Samuel. Like everyone else on this list is the same type of thing.
Ryan and all of his guys got votes either way. Him and Tyjae, him and Algier.
You can put Gabe Davis there too.
Yeah,
and you can put the Eagles' shit ass defense. I think I might have eventually dropped them.
All I know is my votes.
Tyler Algier's game log though.
My votes went to he kind of did in the losers bracket. Ryan and my votes were Ryan and Nick Chubb, Ryan and Algier, and Paul and Jerry Jeudy. Paul, what about you?
I did Nick and Curtis Samuel. I was that one vote, and then Ryan and Nick Chubb.
Oh, it's only 2? Oh, okay. Then I definitely voted Ryan or you know what? I think I might have accidentally picked 3 here, Paul, because I'm pretty sure I know I picked Ryan and Nick Chubb and Paul and Jerry Jeudy, and I'm pretty positive I picked Ryan and Algier. So I accidentally broke the rules there. Ryan, who did you definitely voted yourself at the very least?
I picked Jerry Jeudy and I think Nick Chubb.
Yeah, it had to be the Nick Chubb one. I knew that one was going to win, but it was just crazy that you had Paul and Jerry Jeudy was so like such a storied tale this year that like I figured it was gonna end up like this, where like Ryan wins in like by a lot, but the second most is also by far Paul and Jerry Jeudy. So congrats Ryan for another bappy
on Paul's team.
Yep, that's never happening, and I'm sure he'll do great. I would never.
You have to take him. You have to take him.
No, him or Calvin Ridley.
Is there any way for me to look up fantasy rankings 2020? Are you fucking serious? 2024. All right, let's see.
He's got to be like 40.
Do we trust Cockcroft's?
Cockcroft? Yeah, get that on here.
Okay,
get that on the airwaves right
Let's
now.
look up Tristan H. Cockcroft's. Let's see where Jerry Jeudy ranks on here.
There's no
wide receiver 54.
Look man. Bye.
Zamir White. He's above Josh Downs. I would rather have Josh Downs than his bum ass, dude.
Zamir White is Jacob's background.
So low.
Background.
Yeah,
oh, Johnston's right there.
Isn't that the only thing? Didn't he get hurt this season?
Yeah, QJ. He's above QJ. That's so fucking funny. I like that Brock Bowers is a rookie tight end that they are ranking over Jerry Jeudy. Brock Bowers isn't in the NFL, and he is ranked above Jerry Jeudy. Keaton Mitchell is above him.
Who wins?
Gabe Davis
is above Jerry
I'd
Jeudy.
much rather have Gabe Davis.
Oh.
That's too good.
Ridley. I'm curious where Ridley is.
Okay, let's put our guesses in. I'm going to say Ridley is at 25, right? Wide receiver 25.
Say 22.
Ryan?
I'm not sure.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah,
It's
31. Wide receiver 31.
wow. That's
That's
correct.
Really?
that's wild. Yeah,
I bet he
Ryan.
pops off next
63.
year.
Oh, receiver 31. I'm looking at 63 on the
No. Yeah, who else are we? Who else are we
They have
thinking?
him
Actually,
above
let's look
Dak.
at the
Did you
top.
see that? They have him above Dak.
That's kind of bizarre. But CMC, they have a
Breece
CMC,
Hall, wow.
Tyreek, Jefferson, CD, Brees Hall, Bijan,
Yeah, that's
Kyren,
crazy.
all above Gibbs too. I think I'd rather have Amon Ra than all these motherfuckers,
Where
dude.
is someone like
Where's
Chubb gonna
Oscar?
Where's Chubb gonna be?
Oh, good
yeah.
call. I'm
Dude,
gonna
Chubb will be a
guess.
steal.
I'm gonna guess Chubb is gonna be RB 22, just because there's not many good running
I'll
backs.
say 20. Nah, 15,
Hey,
16.
He's a top 10
I'll say 16.
running back. He's top 5.
26.
Oh my god. The disrespect, dude. Get this
Fuck
guy
you,
out of here.
man.
Get Cockcroft out the
Get
screen.
Cockroft off the
this is
screen.
terrible.
Fuck this
Fuck him.
motherfucker. So yeah, okay, either way, Ryan wins most loyal, and now our next Bappy is the most mid trade. We have Najee Harris for T. Higgins between Dewey and Nick, Russell
Classic.
Wilson for Kirk Cousins between Mike and Austin, Chuba Hubbard and Elijah Mitchell between Dave and Steve, Jared Goff for Trevor Lawrence between Chip and Gorman, Kareem Hunt and Hollywood Brown for Alexander Madison. That's Paul and Mike. And Damian Pierce for Josh Downs. I forgot about that one. That's Paul and Dave. And the winner for most mid-trade goes to Kareem and Hollywood. Paul and Mike. Baby,
Yeah.
the duo. Kareem and Hollywood Brown for Alexander Madison. Just 3 useless players
Mid.
all included in a trade. That's too good.
Absolutely
That's some good stuff.
It's kind
I'm
of close too across the board here.
yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna say
pretty
this one
solid.
is close. It only got 5
Yeah,
votes.
Najee and T. Higgins right there.
Yeah,
I
that
feel
was
like that had a good chance to win.
when that happened at the beginning of the season. Remember, we were all like, "Dude, what? Like, why would you
Yeah,
trade
in
T. Higgins for
hindsight,
Najee?"
It's fine now.
Yeah,
it's,
yeah,
it's,
'cause
it's
Najee
like
played
pretty,
well.
but like
Yeah.
at the time, it was like, what?
Yeah, it looked so
Nick
bad at the
ahead of
time.
Because Najee
Yeah.
helped him win in the playoffs here.
Paul, this is
So.
2 years in a row you've won the most mid-trade award, so you need to keep this streak going on. And the
I
fact
know.
that you're on here twice too is also commendable.
That's a good award to win.
No one
'cause
else is on here
doesn't
twice.
really hurt
Oh
your
no,
team.
Dave is on here twice. But I
Nice.
think those are the only ones. So, oh no, Mike's on here twice too. Either way, Mike, you're holding it down for the most mid trade award. And now let's go to the best trade / worst trade of the year. Best, worst, depending on which way you look at it. We have Chip and Paul, the legendary Brian Robinson, DK Metcalf for Alexander Madison, Jordan Addison, and Taysom Hill. This is Madison and Addison once Kirk Cousins already was ruled out for the year. So at the time, Brian Robinson was RB7 and DK Metcalf was maybe like 20 something, and Madison and Addison and Taysom Hill were all like decently useless.
Mid.
Addison was mid. Madison and Hill ass. Another one. Oh look, Chip's on here again. This is Chip and Dewey. Tyler Lockett, Ramondre Stevenson, Jake Ferguson, Devontae Adams for Christian Watson, George Kittle, Joe Mixon, and Michael Pittman. Then we have DJ Moore and Raheem Mostert for Alexander Madison and Devontae Adams. That is between Mike and Chip. And then we have DK Metcalf and Lamar Jackson for Joe Burrow and Amon Ra between Mike and Paul. Let's look at the winner, and the winner of the best / worst trade of the year goes to DJ Moore and Raheem Mostert for Alexander Madison and Devontae Adams. So this was one where all season long I was like, I didn't understand how Chip ended up like losing so many games after making trades when he fucked Paul in the ass, you know? But then I forgot that this trade happened. He traded the RB2 and the wide
This
receiver
trade looks
7.
crazy looking.
Yeah,
at it
Yeah,
now.
thinking
this
about it
looked
now.
unbelievable. At the time, I didn't think it was that bad. Like Madison was horrible, don't get me wrong, but like I thought Mostert was going to back down to earth or get hurt. DJ Moore was like okay at the time, and Devontae Adams is Devontae Adams. Like he has a track record of being really good, so I was like, this is at least even. Holy shit, Chip got fucked with this one, dude. If he had Raheem Mostert and DJ Moore, he might have fucking won it all.
Right?
Like actually,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah,
That's
his team would've
unreal.
been crazy. If he kept them.
So I would agree with the people that this was the worst trade for Chip and the best trade for Mike. All of these were decently bad. I am shocked that Paul's Robinson and Metcalf for Madison Addison and
Yeah.
Taysom Hill was the least voted for. I wish I had fucking 2 votes so I could have at least propped it up to the other on the level of the other ones. But that Dewey and Chip one is like breaking my brain. Lockett, Stevenson, Ferguson, Adams. So Chip traded 4 players that sucked and got.
I think
at
this
least he
one
got
at the
Kittle and
time-
Mixon and Pittman. Wait a second. This is crazy, dude.
This one at the time was right after Dewey proposed like the mega bullshit one, which was even worse
Yeah.
than this, I think.
Yeah, for
And then
sure.
this one like slid under the radar because
Yeah.
everyone was like, "Oh, Dewey had like this crazy trade and that got vetoed or whatever because it was terrible and what the fuck was going on." And then I kind of stopped looking, and then the next day goes by and I see something like this happen. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, this was so the reason I think that I let this one slide a little bit more was because Christian Watson was like not playing and was horrible. So I was like,
Yeah.
I was more looking at it as Kittle, Mixon, Pittman for all those pieces. And at the time, Stevenson wasn't doing good, but he wasn't injured. Jake Ferguson was doing really well at the time. So I thought Ferguson and Kittle was like an even swap. It ended up not being because George Kittle went off. And Joe Mixon was sucking at this time also. And Joe Burrow was like hurt. And I think Joe Burrow might have already been out for the year at this time. So I thought that this was a bad trade for Dewey.
Yeah,
like I
this
thought
one
it was
didn't need, like to have someone come in and interview.
No, yeah, this was definitely like Chip probably 60-40 wins this if like Kittle and Mixon like start doing well. But holy shit, now looking back, like that is definitely deserving of at least the second worst trade. Like Chip was part of the worst trade and the best trade, like on each side of them. Like that's wild. That's crazy to look at. So many players. It's just crazy that Chip at the end basically traded 4 useless players and at least got 3 good players out of it. Like, what the fuck, dude? But yeah, either way, Chip does win worst trade and Mike wins best trade, which is kind of bizarre to think because Mike didn't even make the playoffs. Congrats to those two. And now for everyone's favorite award of the year, we have the Gorman of the Year award. And there's a clear front runner in this. Let's see if he takes it home. Gorman of the Year goes to Gorman. Nice job, Gorman. And in second place with 3 votes is Ryan, actually.
Yeah, that's kind of shocking.
That was a little bit kind of on my Gorman shit this year.
Ryan actually almost took home the Gorman of the Year. Paul got no votes. Sorry,
That's
Paul.
okay.
Kyle got a vote. Mike got 2 votes too. Steve got a vote. I think for Gorman of the Year, Paul, we're gonna have to include everyone in it because it seems like the tides are turning for Gorman. He might not win it next year, but with the way things are going, it would be a shock for sure. But Ryan, it's his first year in the league, and he already got 3 votes on Gorman of the Year. I don't know. Next year, Ryan might be able to pull it off.
Gotta watch out, Gorman.
Those are the Bappies. So let's go through the winners. We have Austin won Mickey of the Year. We have I won Most Unlucky Manager of the Year. Feel Good Story, Dewey wins that. Ass of the Year goes to Paul. Worst Draft Pick of the Year goes to Mike. Best Draft Pick goes to me. Worst Waiver Pickup goes to Steve. Best Waiver Pickup goes to Kyle and Ryan. Most Loyal Viewer goes to Mrs. Sisson, Lord Jacobson, and my sister. Biggest Choke of the Year goes to Mike. Most Exciting Game goes to Gorman and Nick, week 13. We have the most loyal player goes to Ryan for his relationship with Nick Chubb. And we have most mid-trade going to Paul and Mike. We have the best trade going to Mike and the worst trade going to Chip. And then we have Gorman of the Year going to no other than Gorman. Fellas, this was a long episode. Ryan, I'm glad you could join us for this. I think it was fitting
glad
as
to join.
as the first award that we were going to get to was the
Yeah.
Mickey. It just made sense, I feel like.
And the first feature of the season. I don't think you're on any other episodes, were you?
I think
He
Chip and
was.
I,
He
we
was on-
started the
yeah.
first episode.
Oh, yeah,
because
that's
we were
right.
the
Starting and
newcomers.
closing.
Yeah,
Look at
so
that.
close it out, start it out,
All right.
Closing out, starting
nice.
out. Well, this is the last episode of the year, at least on
Mhm.
paper. I don't know if we're gonna think of anything that we can do in the off season.
IRL episode.
We have an
Maybe,
IRL. Should we
episode
have an
went.
IRL? Whoa, go
Draft
Paul.
recap. IRL draft recap.
Yes.
Yeah, we could do an IRL draft
Yes.
recap. Let's go to Dave's and set up a
Yes, and you
camera
just
and
put
we
it on
go
the
through.
TV.
Yes, exactly.
Like you stand by it, and it's like the fans would love it.
And we have to call
I
people and have them defend their bad picks or congratulate them on
Yeah.
good picks.
Ooh.
That'd be good. I like that.
So everyone be ready for the potential IRL draft recap. And it's been a good season. Congrats to
Yeah.
Kyle for winning it all. Congrats to everyone who won their bappies. And this is
I gotta say, make sure everyone's mocking over the summer. Mocks open, I'm guessing end of April, so get ready. I'm going
think-
for
I think
200.
one of the
Not
most
mocking
miserable-
as much as Paul because there seems to be a correlation with the amount of mocks you do, and then
I think
the
the
I don't
worst
think I did
trades
enough.
and moves you end up doing as well.
I don't think I did enough. That's the issue. I gotta hit 200 at least. So
and I think
Don't
Ryan next year don't listen to Paul as much. That's gonna be
yeah.
Hey, it kinda
going into
works.
this season, I thought Paul was kind of maybe a little bit of a fantasy guru, but
I was.
He
I
was, but he got
just didn't
washed
see
in
it
one
this year.
season.
Not anymore.
from first to last, this is now the second year in a row. Steve went from first to last year. Paul went from first to last this year. Could Kyle could be looking at a last place next year?
We got to give our predictions for first and last for next year as well.
Right
did that
now?
last-
in the IRL episode.
Yeah, we did that. No, we did that in the last episode of last year.
Should we do it right now, or should we wait for
Just
the
a quick-
IRL
just a
draft
quick who
recap?
you- just
quick.
just saying who you think will win. Who are we thinking?
Okay,
I'm
so
going-
okay,
Alright, you
go
wanna go?
ahead. Go ahead. You have yours
I'll
in
step
mind.
out on this one so it's not as long because you guys are the hosts.
Yeah, that
Just
sounds
you-
good to me.
Just you two.
All right.
All right, pick it.
I'm gonna go with the wild card here. I'm going with Nick. Nick's doing
Oh,
it.
Nick's gonna be the only other dual winner with me. That's
feeling it.
crazy. You're
my
right
vote.
because as long as he gets to the end, he ends up winning all his games at the end of the year. So, I mean, I can see it. I'm gonna go with a crazy one. I'm saying Mike is winning it all next year.
Oh, that'd be
He got second place in 2018. He usually is at least close to making the playoffs. He just has to break through, I feel like. And he hasn't won it yet. I feel like for someone that's as competitive in terms of making the playoffs as he is, I think he's going to break through next year.
Yeah, good pick. I like that. I hope a Nick and Mike championship. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, that would be crazy. Nick and Mike. Imagine if we had imagine if we had a Paul and Mike championship. Paul loses to Mike in the championship.
That'd be all right. I could take that.
Yeah. Bold prediction for who's going to finish last place. For me, I'm going to pick Gorman to finish last place next year. I feel like Gorman's up and down a lot. He's either a really fucking good team or his team finishes last. So he was good this year. Picking him to finish last next.
I'm gonna go with Austin. He
The safe
success.
choice.
Yeah, he has his successful year, and now maybe he won't, pay attention to football over the summer and just have an ass draft and be horrible. So
Not the
we'll see.
ass draft. All right, well, those are our picks for next year. Again, thank you everyone for coming along on this journey with us. I know Jacobson's probably going to be stoked that we have a 2-hour episode coming out. But yeah, thanks everyone for joining us, and I think that's it. So Footbap Nation,
Let's ride.
Let's ride.